Hauptmann Werner Pluskat, artillery officer, 352nd Infantry Division. His first-hand, foxhole-level account of spotting the Allied invasion fleet at dawn is one of the most vivid and documented German perspectives of D-Day. You do not surprise Adolf Hitler. For years, every general in Europe, every intelligence officer in Berlin, and every soldier on the Atlantic Wall lived under the same unbreakable assumption: if the Allies come, the Führer will know exactly where and when. His intuition was mythologized. His certainty was treated as prophecy. His word overrode maps, reports, and even physics. And the rule was simple. The Allies will choose the shortest crossing. They will strike where German reinforcements can arrive fastest. They would never gamble on Normandy. Too exposed, too distant, too difficult. Every German division from Denmark to Brittany lived under that rule. Every bunker, gun pit, and machine gun nest was built around that rule. Even the men who suspected otherwise learned not to question it. But in 1944, one officer looking out to see a dawn, eyes wide, heart racing, saw that rule shatter in real time. And nothing in Hitler's command system would be ready for what came next. You are Werner Pluskat, 33 years old, an artillery officer of the 352nd Infantry Division, one of the only fully combat-ready German divisions stationed in Normandy. You are not a true believer. You are not a fanatic. You are a professional soldier, and you are very good at your job. Your battery, 5. Artillery Regiment 352, is dug into positions inland from Omaha Beach. You command 150mm howitzers with a reach of more than 13 kilometers. Your job is simple: watch the sea, spot targets, and destroy them before they land. It's June 5th, 1944, and you know something is wrong. For weeks, you've seen signs that the invasion is near. Increased Allied reconnaissance flights, strange radio traffic, reports of Allied deception, inflatable tanks, fake divisions, things that don't quite add up. But your warnings go nowhere. Division headquarters insists the Allies are still focused on Pas de Calais. 7th Army's command insists Normandy is a secondary concern. And OKW, Hitler's high command, fixates on the idea that the real blow will come later. You've seen how rigid this system is, how slowly it reacts, how junior officers are expected to obey, not interpret. And you know what's at stake. If the Allies gain a foothold, Germany will fight the war on two fronts. The Reich's industrial heartland will be exposed. The war, already bleeding resources on the Eastern Front, might unravel entirely. So on the night of June 5th, you can't sleep. Something feels wrong. The wind, the clouds, the quiet. You walk outside your battery command post, binoculars hanging from your neck. And within hours, the greatest amphibious invasion in human history will appear before your eyes. 0400 hours, June 6th, 1944. You stand at the edge of the woods overlooking the channel. Your dog, Harris, is beside you. He growls, low, uneasy. You raise your binoculars. At first, there is nothing but darkness. Then faintly, movement. A shape, then another, then a dozen. And then you freeze. More ships than you've ever seen. More ships than you thought existed. A wall of metal stretches across the horizon. You whisper to yourself, almost involuntarily, "Das ist die Invasion." This is the invasion. You sprint for the phone line. You call your regimental commander. "Sir, they're here. The invasion fleet. Hundreds of ships heading for our sector."
Finally, you slam the phone down, race to your car, and tear down the dirt road toward the battery command post. Your men stare at you, confused. Then they see your face. You point to the sea, and they see it too. A solid line of ships. Transports, destroyers, battleships, more than 5,000 vessels across the Allied invasion fleet. You grab the radio. "Fein Flotte gesichtet, enemy fleet sighted." Now headquarters can hear the panic in multiple voices at once. Reports from Pointe du Hoc, from Omaha, from Utah. Traces on radar. Radio intercepts are exploding across the network. The denial collapses. The invasion is here. The first shells hit. Allied battleships open fire from more than 20 kilometers offshore. The sound hits you like a physical force, deep, rolling thunder that shakes the earth beneath your boots. Your men dive for cover. Dirt showers your face. Concrete cracks. Trees snap like matchsticks. A single salvo from USS Texas sends 1,200-pound shells screaming overhead at more than 800 kilometers per hour. Your phone rings again. This time, headquarters is shouting, "Pluskat, confirm target ranges. Pluskat, report Allied movements. Pluskat, we need artillery coordinates." But you can barely hear them over the barrage. Your battery answers. 150-millimeter howitzers roar to life. 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots. Shells streak downrange, 10,000 meters, toward the beach approaches. Every explosion must hit something. A landing craft, a transport, anything to slow the tide. But even as you fire, the sea keeps coming. The first landing craft begins its final approach. You watch them through your binoculars, small outlines at 3,000 meters, growing larger at 2,000, now at 1,500. You call in, switch to pre-registered coordinates, fire for effect. Your battery unleashes hell. Shells fall among the waves, columns of water rising 30 meters high. Some landing craft vanish in a flash. Others turn in desperate zigzags. But most keep coming, because 150,000 Allied troops are determined to land today. Rangers, paratroopers, engineers, infantry. You realize your division is alone, utterly outnumbered, facing the full weight of the Allied world. And higher command still insists the real invasion is yet to come. A staff officer calls you. His voice trembles. "Why aren't the panzers moving?" You know the truth. The 21st Panzer Division, 14,000 men, 127 tanks, is only a short drive away. They could hit the beaches in hours. They could crush the Allied bridge.
Not because he wants to wait, but because every standing order, every assumption, every rule of his strategy insists Normandy is a feint. Only he can release the armor. Only he can approve counterattacks. And he has not been awakened. In the 6th floor of the Berghof, Hitler sleeps until nearly 1,000 hours. You don't imagine his thoughts. You don't interpret his feelings. You simply know the facts spreading through the German command like wildfire. Hitler is asleep. The panzers are frozen, and the beaches are falling. You watch as the first waves of American soldiers reach the sand. You see Company A of the 116th Infantry Regiment pinned down behind Belgian gates and hedgehogs. You see men cut down by MG-42 fire from Widerstands Nest 62 and 61. You see bodies piling near the waterline. You call in correction fire, add 200, right 100, fire for effect. Your Howitzers answer. But the volume of targets is overwhelming. Landing craft at 800 meters. DD tanks are trying to swim through waves. Engineers blow beach obstacles before the tide rises.
You shift fire from target to target, like trying to kill a river with bullets. Then something happens that makes your blood run cold. More ships appear. Rows of them. Endless. A runner bursts into your command post. "Sir, American armor landing east of the draw. They're breaking through." You race outside, binoculars up, and you see it. Shermans, M4s, moving inland. Some burning, some advancing, all relentless. You radio headquarters. "If panzers don't counterattack now, we lose Omaha." The answer: stand by, high command deliberating. Minutes pass. Then more. Then more. You can hear small arms fire creeping inland. You can smell cordite on the wind. Your men look to you for direction. And you know, no one is coming. If you find this kind of forgotten history as fascinating as we do, we'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button. We believe these stories of courage, sacrifice, and military decision-making deserve to be told. And by subscribing, you help us ensure they aren't forgotten. A second wave of American infantry hits the beach.
Then a third. Destroyers now close to shore, so close you can see crewmen on deck fire point-blank at German positions. USS Satterley at 2,700 meters, USS McCook at 3,500, USS Carmack at 4,100. Their 5-inch guns light up the cliffs. German strongpoints collapse one by one. Widerstandsnest 64, then 67, then 68. Your artillery is still firing, but ammunition is running low. Communication lines break. One of your guns takes a direct hit. Crew wiped out instantly. You call headquarters again. Request permission to withdraw. Americans are approaching our flank. The reply: hold your ground. A shell lands close. The explosion throws you to the ground. You feel the concussion in your teeth. Dirt rains on your back. Your ears ring. For a moment, everything goes silent. When you stand, your command post is half destroyed. A phone dangles from a broken bracket. You lift it. Deadline. Reports finally reach you. Hitler has been awakened. He is briefed on the invasion. He is told the beaches are collapsing. He is told the panzers must move.
He still hesitates, still weighing possibilities, still expects a landing at Calais. By the time authorization is given, hours have been lost. You exhale, exhausted, furious, helpless. The moment has passed. The window is gone. American infantry overwhelmed the exits at Les Moulins and Vievel. Combat engineers clear the final minefields. Tanks move off the sand and onto the high ground. The 352nd cannot stop them. Your battery is out of ammunition. Your guns are silent. You order your men to withdraw inland. As you leave, you look back toward Omaha Beach. The water is red. The sand is black. The air trembles with explosions and smoke. You realize the truth. This morning, Germany lost the war. What you didn't know, what no one on the German side fully understood that morning, was how enormous the consequences would be. By noon, the Allies held a continuous beachhead stretching more than 15 kilometers. By nightfall, more than 54,000 American troops and 5,000 vehicles were ashore at Omaha alone. And the failure to release the panzers early, those precious hours lost, meant the Americans secured the bluffs. The British linked Sword and Gold. The Canadians took Juno. Mulberry harbors were installed. A continuous supply chain of men and material began pouring into France. Hitler's high command was thrown into chaos. Panic spread. Divisions scrambled to reposition, orders contradicted each other, and within weeks the Allies broke out of Normandy entirely. The German front in the West never recovered. Historians would argue for decades about the great what if. What if the panzers had moved at 0600? What if Hitler had accepted Normandy as the main landing? What if his command structure weren't paralyzed by rigid control? But for you, Werner Pluskat, these questions were not theoretical. You saw the moment slip away in real time. You watched as Hitler's delay, confusion, and misjudgment turned a desperate defensive stand into a strategic catastrophe. After Normandy, you continued to serve. Your division, once considered elite, was shattered. Less than 1/3 of its original strength survived the Normandy campaign. You were one of them. Years later, you would recount your story, your early sighting of the fleet, your frantic calls, and your disbelief at the paralysis of high command, in interviews, memoirs, and in the famous book, The Longest Day. You spent the rest of your life not as a symbol of ideology, but as a witness, a soldier who saw the moment that changed the world. Today, when we speak of D-Day, we remember the Allied heroes who stormed the beaches. But we also remember the men on the other side, those like you, caught inside a system too rigid to adapt, too slow to react, too dependent on one man's assumptions. We remember you because history is not just the story of victors. It is the story of humans on all sides, making impossible decisions under unimaginable pressure. And your warning at dawn on June 6, 1944, remains one of the chilling moments in military history. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing these forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that Hauptmann Werner Pluskat and the men of the 352nd Infantry Division do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered.